Hello everyone! Yesterday we got the trailer for the brand new season. We got to take a look at a bunch of stuff, and there's a lot of new details to take a look at, mainly with how the new weapons work and some of the kits. So I can't wait to bring this to you guys. Let's get started and subscribe if you enjoy. Let's start off with the new maps. First off, we have this brand new one, which I think is okay. The main thing that makes this map feel a lot better, in my opinion, compared to the previous ones we've gotten, is the side route they try to implement works. Both Brinewater and Umami kind of have this right route to get out of spawn, and both of them kind of suck. Whereas in this one, it's very easy to get to it on all the different levels. It's wide and it's much better of an angle. It's still not a full-on alternate route, but it's definitely going to make getting out of your base way easier, which is important because this map is pretty damn small. Besides that, there's a bit of cover on the lower route, and I think it'll be fine in zones and clams, but even with the extended right side, I think Tower and Rainmaker are not gonna feel great on this map, unfortunately. We also got Humpback, and yeah, this isn't really a fan favorite stage I wanted back, and it led to some of the worst gameplay in Splatoon 2. This map was very infamous for double booyah and double missile spam being things on it at two different points of its meta, and in this game it's probably going to be booyah and tri-strike spam to throw it at the zone. The main issue with this map, especially when it's not in its Tower, Rainmaker, or Clam Blitz layout, is that the only way to back out is kind of that little gray area on the side, which is very awkward and slow, so any specials that can limit your movement become very good on this map, and those kind of aren't great to fight. On the tower control layout, we can see that at least they aren't removing options, as that gray block is still there and the ink rail. However, on the right side of the map is the first real change, which is this new uninkable block they've added around the top of it. This is new terrain, so I honestly don't mind it, but I don't think it's going to do too much. Maybe it makes that spot a little bit better for longer range weapons though, if you're trying to peek the far right side. Still though, what this map actually needs is all these walls around the middle to have quite a bit of them be inkable. And yeah, if you know Nintendo's track record with paintable walls in this game, you can see why I'm a bit unoptimistic. It could be fun in Rainmaker though, especially with the checkpoints, but as a whole, I think it's going to just be okay. We'll get Reef back one day. Alright, next, let's break down the two new weapons. First off, we have this new brush weapon. I have done a concept for a heavy brush before, and yeah, this is definitely a heavier brush. It swings about the speed of Octobrush, but the first main mechanic to get used to is this has a bit of startup before it flicks. Every single time it tries to do so, you can see it winds it up kind of like swinging a baseball bat, and then the flicks go across normally. This means if you're fighting this weapon, it's going to have a delay before it can start dealing damage to you, and that means its kill time is going to be slower than Octobrush's. It will be very easy to react to. The trade-off for that is it seems like its roll speed is actually comparable to Octobrush, and this weapon has a lot of range and very good paint. You can see here once it kills the Dually Squelcher, it already has a paint trail very wide for it to be able to move it. This combined with the roll speed means its mobility should actually be pretty solid, especially for the range it has. It doesn't hit too far away, but it's definitely going to be much more of a long distance paint type weapon that doesn't fight as much, but has the capabilities to move around and fight more than similar weapons like Dynamo. We can also see its sub-weapon line. We're going to be looking at a lot of these, by the way, but it seems to be a 70% sub, and I don't think it's 75, meaning it's not Beacon. This could be Splat Bomb, Suction Bomb, or Curling Bomb as the subs with that ink cost. That's really all we have. The weapon's not inherently complicated or anything, and it looks pretty good. I think this kind of range value on a brush should be pretty interesting. The 3-shot means it's got pretty good damage, and honestly, I'm pretty excited for it. Definitely gonna give it a shot when it releases. However, the S-Blast 92 is absolutely what I'm way more hyped for. I am so excited for this thing. Its main gimmick is that it changes its range value. It has a short range mode when jumping and a long range mode when grounded. This was literally a concept I had before this game came out with a shift blaster, and it just looks so fun. Having a long range one-shot direct like range blaster, but on a different, more versatile one could be incredibly fun. Besides that, it has good ink efficiency, a 60 or 65% sub, so there's a chance for Fizzy or Torpedo, and I'm gonna talk about it in full detail in a video coming in just a few days. I have so much to say about this weapon and about it with blasters as a whole that I think it's honestly worth its own video. It should be really fun. Just give it a little bit of time, and maybe by then we'll know a little bit more specifics I can talk about. Hey guys, so today we got more info on the S-Blast 92, including the kit of Sprinkler and Reef Slider. Wow. Yeah, I'll talk about this Friday too. It's not good. I'm probably playing the washing machine in the NA Open. Let's get into more kit hunting. Nova Shot appears to have around a 50 to 55% sub weapon. If it is 55%, which is what it does seem like, that would be Auto Bomb, which I think would be fine with it. It would definitely fit the whole location thing they went with for the first kit. And for the special weapon, we have Inkjet, which while it is very strong, I'm unsure if the main weapon in its current state could be worth picking with Ballpoint right there. Still, it should be a really fun kit for the weapon, and I could 100% see it being viable with the right sub. Splatoon Wiper Deco, on the other hand, leaves no room to interpretation. We get a very clear shot of this thing's ink tank at 75%, which only one sub in the game costs that much ink. Squid Beacon. Outside of Tenebrella, which has its own fair share of consistency problems and having vacuum, all of the beacon weapons are incredibly short-range stuff that doesn't really work super well. This is the first time it's on a weapon that honestly could really fit it. Beacons could be great for being placed on off angles, and the weapon paints insanely well with good painting range and the ability to poke with its charge slash, meaning it honestly will be okay without a bomb. However, with its slow kill time, it will still be very dependent on what special it gets. It can get it very fast, but it needs to be something that can help it get picks faster. I think something like Ink Storm, Booyah Bomb for survivability, Crab Tank, Inkjet, or, well, if it got missiles, of course, it would be good because missiles are kind of broken. So any special like that, I think it'd be a great alternate kit that would open up more playstyle options besides the super QR, gonna flank and feed type thing. Very excited to see what we get with it. And on the victory screen, we get to see Tetra. Here's the good news. It's a 60% sub. This means it has a chance to get Fizzy Bomb. Here's the downside. 60% could be the repeat sub of Sprinkler, which would not be great. And in the blaster video, we can see Tetra throw a Sprinkler. Why did they repeat this sub weapon on this weapon? I don't know. They even put it on the blaster already too, but they decided we needed 2 of them. Now having the same amount of subs tied with Splat Bomb with 8. Wonderful. Hopefully that thing is a good special, because otherwise it's in a bad spot. Zipcaster, please. Stephanie over here has a 40% sub, and this is the Big Swig Roller. And again, from the blaster footage we got today, we know someone on the Big Swig team has line marker. We could roll out the Tetra, so it's either the Swig, the Nova, or the new brush. Highly likely it's a Swig considering the ink tank. We also know one of them has mine, which would be the brush or Nova. Here's the good news, Big Swig players. Honestly, you don't really care about your sub that much. The weapon can do so many things that, like, while a good sub would be nice for it, you can get away having a bad one if you get a good special. If it gets a good special, this could be a higher, even top tier weapon. But line marker just unfortunately doesn't really do enough for this weapon. The main weapon's kind of good at comboing with itself anyway. I guess it gives you the ability to locate people, so you could have that as an option, but it's only 5 seconds of location. No idea why they wouldn't just do sensor with it if they wanted that. I'll also point out that, of course, we get to see all of the other weapon kits, game-breaking analysis, I know, but for those that aren't very easily seen in the trailer, we have the Heavy Splatling Deco, the Atrium Nozzle Nose D, Rapid Blaster Pro Deco, and that new Big Swig that I just talked about. However, besides sub-weapons, we actually have a hint for specials. This is the Splatter Shot, Carbon Roller Deco, and Squeezer on this team. All of them pop Trizuka here. This is likely an event where everyone has to use Trizuka and therefore is picking Trizuka weapons. As if it could be any weapon getting Trizuka, they probably would have shown some of the others. And there's one weapon here we can see before the Trizukas are popped. If you look at the player in the middle and their weapon, it looks very much like Umbrella Pose. On top of that, the paint near them basically confirms this is 10. Zuka only being on 4 weapons makes it a prime candidate to be on a new kit, and with a Table Turf card, we can see that 10 Sorel Umbrella is one of the new weapons we're going to be getting. So very high chance we get a 10 Umbrella with a Trizuka. Trizuka on 10 should be a very cool combo, as the shield can both protect you while painting, allowing you to move with the special, as well as blocking for you, so you can get a bit closer when trying to challenge things like chargers, or have an option to block for you if people try to rush. It sounds like a super fun combo, and I think it's going to be very good. Wow, that's awesome to see a special on a really cool weapon. I'm glad we were able to get that off to a good start. Hey, what's that in the corner on the bottom left?
Scale up. Enhance. Son of a...
That's a lot of ink splatters, and it's all the way back in the spawn, which means you'd have to be really far away too. Oh no, it's a new missile weapon, guys. This means that one of the weapons on this purple team over here has 10 missiles.
He could be any one of us.
There's the Splatana Wiper Deco we saw earlier here, as well as the Dually Squelcher. This one is the most likely candidate, as it had missiles back in Splatoon 2. Well, this has Shark, so it's not a candidate. Finally though, the Heavy Splatling Deco. So one of these these 4 weapons is probably gonna get missiles. Yeah, they're not done with missiles, guys. More than likely, we're gonna be seeing more of it as these updates roll out. We have challenges coming, and a lot of people were wondering if this was going to replace League, and I think it is, and here's 2 reasons why. First off, the color scheme is practically identical, but 2, the devs also mentioned that there would be some special modes thrown in here with League back when the Splatoon 3 Direct came out, and I mean, if that's not what this is, I don't know what to tell you. It does look fun though. It seems like there'll be ways to lock everyone with a specific special, which cool, that sounds fun. You have the fog like from Salmon Run, which could be interesting. The most fun of these by far though, the extreme jumps. So many of the maps might be way more playable in this mode than they would be in the base game. I'm really excited to experiment with this, and I am very, very much hoping we can play these in private battles. I felt like this game really needs some new modes to kind of spice things up, especially on the more casual side of things, and this does exactly what I wanted. I'm super hyped for it, honestly. By the way, the challenge mode windows for this are only 2 hours and spaced out quite a bit. I have no idea why. Why not just have one last until the other starts? This is such a random change, so we might miss some of these challenges, and that sucks. Finally, of course, we got a new Salmon Run stage, Jammin' Slammin' Junction, and this looks really cool. I love the little gap in the middle that all the salmonids could spawn from, and I'm not sure how it would play. Honestly, it's a bit difficult to tell. It does seem a little bit small, so I'd assume this is probably the high tide version of it, but honestly, the track record with the new Salmon Run stages have been really good. I expect it to be a banger. Also, they got a stage behind them, so if we can actually see some of the Salmon Run bands performing there, that would be so cool. We also got some new emotes, of course, but the most notable one is this fist bump one. We've actually seen this data mined a while back, which I'm not going to show on screen for obvious reasons, but it wasn't complete, and we had no idea how it would interact with the second player. It seems like the second person can actually have whatever emote they want, and they'll just do the fist bump after, which is the best way they could implement it. But that's about everything. I'm a little disappointed to only see 9 alternate kits so far. I hope there's more that weren't shown in the Table Turf cards, because no new stringer, even a kit, for an entire year just sounds awful, and 9 is very few. But outside of that, I'm pretty hyped for everything, and I really like the new weapons in this update. They seem really interesting, so let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you all next time.